Thank you for joining us this week on our Image Review Special. Every single week, we are lucky enough to receive review copies from Image Comics for the books that they're putting out that week. And we use that opportunity to bring you guys reviews. You seem to enjoy it, so we're happy to do it. This week, we are reviewing one book and one book only, everyone's favorite, Geiger.
That's funny that you did that because I swore I wasn't going to do it. I'm so tired of that joke.
I know, man. Geiger, of course, by Geoff Johns, Gary Frank, and Brad Anderson. Thank you to Image Comics for providing us with this review. Before we jump into it, I do want to let you guys know that we put out a weekly show every single Monday called The Comics Pals, where we talk about characters you love from Marvel, DC, Image, whatever, in all the places that you can find them. We're doing news and interviews all the time, every single week on that show. Come check us out. If you've ever left a comment on one of our review episodes, chances are we've read it over there. We don't read the comments over here. Maybe we should, but we read your comments every single week on our main show. So if you want to hear us react to you, all 5 of us or whatever amount are on the show that week, definitely check out our main show. While you're thinking about us, leave us a follow, a rating, and a review wherever you're listening to this. If that happens to be YouTube, hit that subscribe button for free, like the video, share it with your friends, drop us a comment as you guys do every single week. All those things are free to do, and they help us out a lot more than they cost you, and we really appreciate it. So let's jump right into Geiger number 3. I was actually not as hot on this issue as I have been for the rest of the book.
Interesting. How come?
So I've been really intrigued by getting to see the world, and last issue left us with a loose cliffhanger about a new player who was going to enter the story. I can't recall if she had a name or not, but this one actually seems to take us back to what happens when Geiger encounters the king and his court.
Yep.
Which was something that was glossed over. We saw that the king had his face was mangled, and we know that it was because of his interaction with Geiger. We didn't see how that went down, and so this issue goes back to that. I thought that was a weird choice, actually, by Geoff Johns. I don't really feel like we needed to do this way. I think that it could have been shown and told linearly. There's no reason why we needed to see this now. We could have seen it then or not seen it at all.
Or seen it later.
Or later, sure, I guess.
It would have added some mystery to the king. I mean, like
Right.
you know what happened. It's pretty obvious. They're like radiation burns. He says what he's going out to do. Yeah. But like seeing that interaction could have played out well later.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. For me, like I haven't been so hot on this series.
Yeah.
And this issue didn't particularly do anything for that. The interesting mystery here for me was the character of Geiger and what his deal with his family in the bunker is and what his whole thing is. Mystery solved. I'm done.
Yeah, I know that they had to give up the ghost on that at some point.
Yeah.
Although maybe they didn't. I actually feel like that being a longer term question mark is interesting. Although, frankly, for me and probably you, it's not a question mark. I was sure they're dead. Obviously, they have to be dead. But him believing they're not dead is what motivated him to keep going. And I think that the delusion that he was under, that they could possibly be alive, makes him interesting. But now that that's gone, he's just a weirdo who's radioactive. And I guess he's going to have a problem with the king because the king took that from him. You see, he says it. He says, "You took hope from me." But they were dead.
Yeah. Well,
wouldn't you want to know that?
I mean, his whole thing is no, I guess. I guess
right.
He hoped they weren't, but I guess there's also this sort of fatalistic idea of the fact that, like, how long were they in there? long enough for a society to be built out of the ruins of what came before.
Right.
They probably didn't have food. They probably didn't have water. It, frankly, it may not have been the radioactive blast that killed them.
Right. They could have died just due to lack of food. And
Yeah.
I, again, like, I love that. I love that question mark over his own head, because again, it speaks to his delusion and everything else. And maybe in the deepest parts of himself, he knew that they were dead, but he needed the ghost of possibility, of hope, as he says, to remain alive so that he can remain alive. That's fine. I'm cool with that. I just kind of wish we had been left with that a little bit longer. I don't know that now is when we needed to have that bubble burst. That being said, it kind of flips things, because now the king has a reason to want Geiger dead. Outside of just like, oh, he's the legendary radioactive man. I want to, kill him, because now he has an actual like reason to want to see him dead. I'm unclear as to why Geiger just doesn't kill him.
Yeah. It just, I think it sort of, unfortunately, kind of speaks to the way that this plays out in the way that we are talking about. Like, that, if Johns had left the vault as this big unknown for the audience, for whatever was coming, like, it would have added mystery to the character and his motivations going forward. Why would he leave with the kids? Why would he, want to go fight the king or whatever? And then later on we find out, oh, it's because his family's dead.
Yeah. He's stripped bare now.
Yeah.
And that means that the story has to carry him, whereas the mystery of him was carrying the story. And so I don't know how interested I am in this without that mystery, although the world is compelling. But I have, I still don't, like, I don't get why he leaves the king alive. That just doesn't make any sense to me at all. The book kind of, it jumps. After he touches the face of the king and burns him with the radioactive hand, it jumps. So we don't actually get to see what happens, right? We don't know why that conflict ends.
Yeah.
I wish we had seen more, but all right, fine, I guess not. I was also a little bit bummed about, not bummed, but like, there were a lot of close-ups in this issue. It just, I felt so claustrophobic reading this.
Yeah, it's interesting. The usual praise we have from Gary Frank, or for Gary Frank, certainly stands to a degree. But yeah, it just, and maybe that's the mood he's going for, but some of it just is a lot.
It was a lot. It didn't really feel like there was much room to breathe. And I don't know if that was due to the script requiring Gary to operate a certain way. But like, for example, on the page where Geiger dispatches of one of the knights, one of the goons, shoots one in the face, and then like counters the other one with his, baton or whatever. And then the king tries to slash at him. That page, it's page 20 for you and I. That just, like, did that need to be 6 panels? Like, it's just so much. And then the next page is eight panels. It's a lot. That's a lot of panels. And it just feels real close. It feels really, really close. And close-ups are fine, but again, this one for me felt a little claustrophobic, and it didn't feel like any of the pages really breathed much.
Yeah, I guess that is probably to portray the speed of the fight,
Hmm.
you know, um, leading up to the moment where Geiger has the king by the face.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, that's good. It just, yeah, I don't know. This book doesn't like it's 31 pages. No, 30 pages, less than
Okay.
that. It's 24 pages.
Yeah, I was about to say it's probably yep.
And boy, does it feel like less.
It does. It does feel like less. And normally, when you include, 6 and 8 panels on a page, you're looking at something that is, you're looking at something that's gonna feel thick.
Yeah,
It's something that's gonna feel long. Somehow, this book has more panels than the average book, most likely, and it feels shorter. That's weird. I'm not down on Geiger. I'm not done with the book. I'm not saying that I think this issue was bad. I don't think it was bad. Um, but I am very interested in how they're going to handle things going forward with issue 4. I think I really want to see more of the world. Like, again, the Geiger character, I no longer care. I just don't. It's over for that. Like, I'm not interested in whatever else they have to say. We know that his family's dead concretely, even though we've pretty much figured that. He knows it, and also we got basically an understanding of how he operates. We saw the scene with the guy who would put the what are those the what would you call those things that are in
rods.
his back?
Oh,
The rods. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's basically what they are, like nuclear
Yeah.
rods of some kind.
Right. We know how he works now. We understand all that. So um
Yeah,
fine.
we know where he's at. We know what his whole deal is. All that's left is the world.
Exactly. And so my hope is that um we can get more of that quickly. I'm assuming he's going to try to help these kids get safe, and the king is not going to allow that. That's fine, but it's kind of pedestrian. So
Yeah.
hopefully, Geoff Johns and Gary Frank, very talented. I'm sure they've got more in store. There's no way that they're just going to tell a very basic superhero story. I highly doubt that.
Oh
You
man,
disagree?
I do a little bit. Just
Okay.
based on what we've seen, I think I am a bit down on this.
Well,
I
you've been down.
yeah. But the the mystery is solved. Like he told me what happened. He gave me the key to the thing I wanted to see. So
Yep.
the world's just not that interesting to me, and the key to exploring it, like you say, is very pedestrian. It's
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't particularly care about the kids. I don't particularly care about whatever it is they're trying to do. I don't even remember what they're trying to do.
Um, they were told, their mother was told, or she knew, or whatever, that there was a safe space, that the government still had some power, and that there was a place where they were operating. And I believe they were trying to get over there. They had stolen something from the king, and he wants it back, and blah
Yeah,
blah
yeah,
blah. That's all fine. The carrot, though, we've been given the carrot.
yeah.
The carrot on a stick. So now the story just has to get real good, real quick. Um, Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, we I think when we first, maybe the first or second issue, we read Noctera alongside it. I haven't kept up with that, but I still can't sort of help but compare them
Mm,
because so far they are very similar. Like, the character we want to follow has to cart these people to this unknown land that is,
right.
the promised land or whatever. And the thing about Noctera, at least within issue 2, is that the driving narrative is, uh, as I remember, one of the main characters is turning into a night walker or a vampire or something. That's interesting. There's some emotional stuff in there because she's carrying her brother, or her brother's turning into the vampire, and you know, there's stuff there to work with.
Sure.
That I, you know, at least at the time, I was interested to follow. I think the world was interesting enough to carry me. But this just, you know, the emotion isn't there.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Geiger no longer, there's no emotional core for the character anymore because, again, his family's dead. So we'll see how things progress. Like I said, I'm not down on the book. I want to see where this is going to go. I trust and believe in Gary Frank and Geoff Johns and Brad Anderson. I know you guys have been really loving it too. So as long as you're enjoying it, we will keep reviewing it. Write in your thoughts. Let us know how you felt about this issue of Geiger. Would you have preferred that they not go back and show this now? Would you have preferred that they wait a little while, or that we just had seen this in issue 2? I think there's a lot of ways to go about, you know, getting us this information that the issue is intent on telling us. But do you think that there's a better way? Do you like it? Let us know. Write in comicspals@gmail.com. Of course, you can leave us a comment in the YouTube comments. We really appreciate all of that. Follow us, rate us, review us, wherever you listen to this. Subscribe to our channel, all that good jazz. Thank you to Image Comics for providing us with this review. If there's another book or any books at all that you want us to review that we're not, write in and let us know that too, and we will get on that as well. With that, we're the Comics Pals signing off. Take care, guys.
See you next week.